welcome back. Thank you for joining me again this week. I hope you all had a happy Easter and that you had a great time with your family. Whatever you did, Easter egg hunts, looking for baskets, or just maybe your baskets appeared. But anyways, I hope you had a great one. So, I'm back here at my house because, well, our story involves a little bit of food again. So before we dive in, let's do like we do each and every week. Let's light a candle so we know through the Holy Spirit we are connected, even though we don't watch at the same time. So, to recap everything that has happened, right? We had Palm Sunday where we had a parade where Jesus was in the parade. People pulled down the palm branches and were waving them and welcoming them and saying, "This is the King." And it created quite a bit of a noise, right? And then we had Maundy, Thursday, where we had the Last Supper. And Good Friday, the day that Jesus died. And then Easter, Jesus has risen. His body was not found in the tomb, but Jesus had appeared. So now, we're going to a story that happens just right after that. And we can find that story in Luke chapter 24, verses 1 through 12. Again, Luke 24, 1 through 12. Or we can find it on page 488 in our Spark Storybook Bibles. The road to Emmaus. 3 days after Jesus died, Cleopas and his friend were walking slowly down the road to Emmaus. They were walking slowly because they felt very sad. Why did Jesus have to die? They wondered. After a while, a stranger began to walk with them. The stranger was really Jesus, but Cleopas and his friend did not know that. "What are you talking about?" the stranger asked. The men looked at each other. "Are you the only person in town that doesn't know what just happened?" They told the stranger what had happened to Jesus. "Jesus was a great teacher," Cleopas said. We hoped that he was the one that God promised would save the world, but instead he died on a cross. We took Jesus' body down and put it in a tomb. This morning our friends went to the tomb and Jesus' body was gone. They said that there was an angel there instead, and the angel told our friends that Jesus is alive, but stop being silly, the stranger said. How many times do you need to hear this? It was God's plan for Jesus to die and to become alive again to save the world. By now, they were almost to Emmaus. Cleopas invited the stranger to stay for dinner. During dinner, the stranger picked up a loaf of bread, broke it, blessed it, and gave a piece to each man. All of a sudden, Cleopas and his friend recognized the stranger. It was Jesus. But then Jesus disappeared. Cleopas and his friend jumped up, ran from the room, and went to tell the rest of Jesus' disciples that Jesus really was alive. God had kept another promise. If you saw Jesus walking down the road, what would you do? What would you say? What would you tell Jesus? Would you be scared? Would you recognize him? Or would you think that he looked like some stranger that just, maybe we'll walk on the other side of the road and not bother him? We don't know how we're going to react, right? Kind of like Cleopas and his friend. They didn't recognize Jesus at first. It wasn't until Jesus took bread, broke it, and then gave a piece to each person to eat that they recognized this is the guy who did this on Maundy, Thursday. It's Jesus. That's kind of the cool thing. Now, today for our time, we don't have a craft because it's kind of hard to do a craft that goes with this theme. So what I'm going to challenge you guys to do is to make bread. Now you can do it one of two ways. You can make bread, you can go with your parents, you can buy frozen bread dough and you can make it that way. I know that's how I do it and I cheat. cheating way, it's okay. We still make bread, and your house still smells. Like right now, I smell the bread because I made this just yesterday. Again, frozen loaf, but I still smell it in the house. Or you can just go buy unsliced bread, but it has to be unsliced because you gotta break it yourselves and eat it with each other and tell some stories. And the reason we're doing that is that's a lot of times what they did in Jesus' time. They took bread and other things and they shared a meal together. Now, you can do this with your family. You can do this with your friends that you're comfortable being with right now and eating with. But that's your challenge for this week. Take some bread, break it, and share some stories. Sound good? I'm going to enjoy my bread. So we'll see you guys later. So next week, we have quite a few different things that we're going to do, and it's going to be really fun, and you're going to have some more challenges. Next week, you'll have to be challenged to go outside and do something. So be on the lookout for that. But until then, take care, wash your hands, stay safe, eat your bread. Until then, we'll see you later. Bye!